How many things have you got open on your computer?
Not many. It's mainly for this. Right. I'm hoping that's going to solve
Praise there,
it.
Morgan. That was brilliant.
There we go. It sorted it. I had the wrong stuff.
Hey.
I had the wrong stuff selected.
Right, so also the primary, secondary, all that, not really a term we're using. It's more because so in other words, who's mostly sharing a household with,
Yeah.
rather than being any kind of strict hierarchy.
Yeah, that's fine.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. It was just something that I had heard myself, so I wanted to. It was just something I thought maybe use that it might apply to you, but obviously it's different.
Nesting partner, girlfriend, and beloved, and she's dealt with a lot from me. So there you go. Both of them.
It's like what, we're knocking on a decade now. Neither of us stabbed the other, so bonus. Hey, there's a princess.
I've got the nesting partner and fiance. I've got the girlfriend who is amazing, and I've got the dom, which he's lovely. I'm sorry, my brain is gone. my brain is gone. Do we have
Just got
I've just realized.
I don't see a difference between my girlfriend. They're both my partners. The fact that in law one is seen as higher than to me, they're my partners, and Kelly's a lovely addition.
Exactly. You get sarcasm.
Because she helps keep me sane.
Exactly, and you're just going to get sarcasm, swearing, and the like from me, and it's just like, whatevs.
Yeah.
So I live in Portsmouth, you're going to get sarcasm
When you said there was no
swearing.
difference between... When you said there was no difference between me and Tim, I was just like, there is, but...
Anatomically, yes.
I don't know.
I am not a clone.
I don't know. I've seen Tim on the beach with his top off. There's not that much difference.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost a Morgan, have we? Oh.
Yeah.
They'll be back. Here we go.
Oh.
Tech is a wonderful thing.
Exactly. Knowing how crap the internet is in this house, it's probably dropped off.
Or Small has actually stolen it to do some Oculus Rift and exercise.
Probably.
Yeah, the small one seems to be fairly addicted to Oculus Rift at the moment.
It's just he does not want to give it up to let anyone else have a go at the moment. It's like, oi, come on, share.
You know what?
That's it. I'm gonna get...
Oh, Morgan's just said back in a minute.
Exactly.
I think they've.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
But yeah,
I think there's been technical.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
The fun and games of modern technology.
It's all great when it works. When it doesn't,
it's like new tech. They said it'll be fun. They said it's like, no, it just makes it more complicated.
just be thankful.
On the other hand, in terms of lockdown, although that said, in terms of lockdown, things like that, it's an absolute godsend.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Just be thankful we're not stuck with
talking
Snake.
each other.
Yeah.
No.
It's yeah.
For anyone who doesn't get it, it's an MSG reference.
I was thinking, are we talking like Snake as in metal?
Yeah, and I've just realised I said MSG instead of MGS.
Yes.
Yeah, MSG is what the Chinese put in everything.
Yeah, but it is addictive, so hey ho.
But
It's
monosodium glutamate,
it's Metal
isn't
Gear,
it?
Metal Gear Solid. It.
Anna is then.
Oh no, we've definitely lost Morgan for the time being.
Yeah.
They'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Well, we got a princess. She doesn't talk a lot, but she looks to be needy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Princess is very
she can hear familiar voices, isn't it?
Probably.
Hello, princess.
You just want fusses because I'm not talking to you. That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuss.
Yeah.
See,
Sorry,
Hey!
Hey!
That's right.
You're here.
So I think we kind of answered that question
yeah,
in a very roundabout way.
Yeah, after we spent about 20 minutes talking about random shit. There we go, as Princess wants to be part of the thing.
Yeah, hello, Princess. Also, this is a queer space, and we have dogs, which all queer spaces should
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, exactly. We
some
should
sort
all
of
have.
fluffy animal anyway.
Exactly.
Well, you are
And
my
to be
little
f-
pet.
Well, as I always joke, like a budget marker Plar and Chica, so you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, you can't have Marky Moo. You get Miss Time Bunny instead.
Any excuse to plug your stuff.
No, that's fine. If you, I have sort of linked stuff in the live chat, in the live bit anyway. Just if people want to add their stuff to it later.
Cool.
I like how all the webcams have got our D&D names underneath because we're on the D&D channel,
It's fine.
which is even
I'm
better.
I'm a 4-foot mad dwarf. It's fine.
Yes.
So what's the character?
It's like, see you, Jimmy. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
Gotta love it.
what questions do we go with? Who's got the most complicated sexuality out of all of you?
I think I'd agree
Should
with
we
that.
let Morgan go first? I was going to say mine's probably more entertaining with the amount of people I get being like, "What, you're asexual and poly? Like that's not allowed," kind of thing, you know? Because apparently that's all poly people do is bonk each other constantly. It's like,
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's what Morgan says.
Well, I must admit, I think the funniest thing was when I started my new company, who I've now been with for 5 years, and I used to wind them up by saying we're going out with the ex-wife, but I didn't tell them it was Tim's ex-wife. I just left them to their own imaginations.
that's always the fun
Yeah.
bit, though. It's just let them jump to the conclusions and the assumptions.
Well, they could see the ring, and they heard me talking about Tim, and they weren't sure how to ask what the situation was. And then when they did pick up the courage to do it, it was at the works Christmas do, at which point they pulled me aside and went, "We don't know how to tell you this, but we think Tim's having an affair." And I went, "Yeah, I know, because I'm having an affair with the same person too." At which point the little brain went pop and went, "How does that work?" When I've asked my wife about a threesome, she said no, and I went, "This isn't a threesome, this is a relationship between 3 people."
Yeah,
This isn't about, and I think that's the difference. People don't understand that a poly relationship isn't just a wham bam thank you ma'am.
We won't mention names, but I think Morgan knows someone that would think the same thing.
Certain work,
At your
I'm
work.
guessing a certain work colleague. I'm assuming you mean.
Yes.
But we don't talk about that. You can see this all like the internal rage, like no.
I keep expecting one of those cartoon characters where the A bomb comes out the top and just
No, this is going to be a positive conversation.
Yeah.
this is a
I'm not
positive
going-
conversation.
I'm not going to get angry.
We are not going. We are not going to give companies attention by shaming them.
To be fair, Leah, it depends on what you mean by complicated sexuality. Because I would say I do have a complicated sexuality, but it depends on what you define.
I think outside of me, you've probably got the most broad ranging of who you find attractive, if that makes sense.
I have a good taste in people, just not a lot of them. Like good.
Isn't it just a case? It's like, isn't it a case of like your minimum requirement is they have a pulse? See, I know
Wow.
I can get away with saying cheeky
Yeah.
shit like that. So I'll get slapped later, it's fine.
It will be consensual, by the way. We don't condone violence.
Exactly.
Yes,
It'll be
Well,
more of...
you lagged out for me then, so you literally sort of like came across. So I didn't hear a word. So you're safe. Just
Oh, okay.
Don't do it again. Yeah.
I got away with that one. It's fine.
I'll just come in and go.
Just randomly slap me anyway, it's fine.
so I'll ask
I'm
Joe,
not violent.
what would you say are the key aspects of being poly?
Honesty, communication.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Big
Joe.
C is the big one.
Yeah.
Did you say a big D
Communication.
is a good one?
C!
I was like, in order to be successful, you have that's it.
Oh dear.
Big C! C! Communication, communication, communication.
Not
So
that
not,
one,
so,
right.
not, so not Big D, right?
No. Not Big D.
Well, depending on the way you swing, that might be important,
Well, if,
You know, you can't discount these things.
if it's a Big D, it might sort of be like a pendulum.
What? Windmill?
The thing is, you're saying big D, and that is the nickname that, like, Dudley's following. My brain's going two different ways.
Yeah, when
Communication.
Yes,
Communication, honesty. I mean, all those things are in there, and it's listening. Actually, to be honest, as much as anything
exactly.
else.
So I'm going to ask one thing: do you get jealous? I know that's quite a.
The thing is, I can feel the whole jealousy and comparison thing at the same time. I'm happy that they're doing it. I'm pissed off that I'm not there doing it.
Yeah.
Or I get pissed, or it's just like, I have severe dick envy, and I'm annoyed I don't have that bit. So I get jealous of other people's physical attributes that I do not have, including the penis. So I'm sort of going, so I get jealousy over that kind of stuff, but it's really important. It's just like, jealousy is an actual thing that will happen, but it's how you deal with it. That's the most important thing.
It's kind of recognizing
The triggers of it.
you're actually, what the trigger is, what you're actually jealous about, and what need isn't being met, or what the fear is, which can then, you can either then just sit and do some of that posting yourself, sort of do that quiz against yourself, or talk to whoever is around, even if it's not someone actually part of the group. It would just, you bounce ideas off just to try to get a trick of working out, am I being unreasonable? Am I being odd about this, or actually is there something, but what is it? And is it more a case of that, do I need reassurance? Do I need to be reminded of security? Do I just need actually just sort of being poked in the ribs and say, stop taking yourself so seriously?
Yeah.
It's so serious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
It's recognizing jealousy as almost as another tool in the toolbox. But
I normally find if I'm having very rare moments of being what I call a silly mare, I normally either go for walks with. I either go for walks with Fanny Ann over here, or I just play video games. There you are, Princess. You can be on camera. Right, I think I'm just going to hold this because it keeps falling over. There we go.
I'm going to get you a selfie stick.
Yeah.
The way I view
It's-
it is,
Carry on.
the way I view it is that I cannot provide everything that one person might need, and I wouldn't put that upon myself to provide someone else with everything they need.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't expect a partner to give me everything I need. So I can understand that I can't give someone something, therefore I don't expect to be able to do it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that's does that make? I'm very
Yeah,
tired
it does.
right now, so
That makes
if I
perfect
were-
sense.
I think. Yeah, and also and actually allowing myself to recognise that, owning the language a minute, is that actually can be quite freeing to realise that you don't have to be fulfilling the be all to all people and all things at all time, because that's exhausting and you can't do it.
Yeah.
You're not wired to. It's a level of intensity that is mutually incompatible because everyone has different needs and different combinations.
yeah.
So yeah, recognizing that my partners have different aspects and different needs, and that other partners or metaphors fill or can provide or can be a mirror to, that sort of kind of lessens the load on me. So it's that thing of sometimes example, if I'm having a grumpy day and I don't have the emotional energy to do emotional labour with someone or with someone else, there's other people who are also as connected
When you're being
and
a
as
big grumpy
invested in that
bear.
person. Yeah, absolutely. And even if it's just them sort of saying, "Oh, for fuck's sake, he's being an arsehole again," just sit him in front of a computer and feed him chocolate, it'll be fine, you know?
Yeah, so like, believe it or not, Tim has his
He's
PMS as well. Yeah.
Yeah, bearing in mind he's diabetic.
I just got the image of Joe walking in going, "You're being an arsehole," and just throwing a whistle bar and going, "Eat!"
Pretty much.
Yeah, that happens usually. Or have you
A
drank
glass of
water yet?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
keep
usually the
hydrated.
water first.
Yeah, so,
No, don't want any. Shut up, you're having some.
Have you
Yeah.
had
So,
the
yeah.
coffee yet?
yeah, I normally just distract myself by sort of like, it's like normally dog walks or basically blowing shit up on a Fallout game. It doesn't have to be a specific title. It's like, just give me one to play so I can shoot shit. You know?
No, what you do is you go into Fallout 4 and you fill up with Nick Valentine for 6 hours straight.
Shush. It works for me, okay?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm a
And-
disgusting
and Joe-
machine fetishist.
and Joe jumps from cathedrals in Venice or whatever.
Yeah. But I use that regardless because I just find it really therapeutic. It used to be on a Saturday playing hockey and beating the living daylights out of a hockey ball. But having prolapsed discs 10 years ago, that's kind of put a stopper to that. And I think, Morgan and Tim can both maybe validate this, but I'm not one that naturally gets jealous. And if I do, there's usually a reason for it.
Yeah.
Either I'm perhaps feeling neglected, or I'm feeling insecure about something. But actually, 9 times out of 10, it's been because people haven't been having respect for themselves and just throwing themselves at my partners without any self-respect for themselves or consideration of other people in that relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where my jealousy comes from.
Yeah. We're back to that. It's fine.
I'm gonna go and get myself another water. And
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
And do the thing.
I
yeah,
think
that feeling, it
after
was dreadful.
I think after what have I known you and Joe now, two and a bit years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about 2.5 years.
Yeah, and it's I think Joe just comes across as probably one of the most chilled people I've ever met.
You obviously
It's-
haven't seen me at work.
No, but it's I don't know. It's just you just seem so. Obviously I know you're going to get stressed at work, but being stressed at work and being stressed in everyday life is very different. Because obviously we, especially with life and stuff, we've all got to deal with idiots. I think is
Tell me about it.
I think is the easiest way to put it.
As I came back to my bed, I misheard that. I thought we all suffer with millions. I was like, I'd love it if I.
That's why I'm so grateful where I work where I am now, because it's like my team are actually quite chill and nice, and they kind of know little bits about my relationship and that I'm obviously engaged to sort of biologically a woman, but like, they're just like, cool, and they're just like, whatever does it for you, love. So
Biologically a human.
yeah,
Yes.
Mostly.
Am I now? Am I
Yeah,
now? When did this happen?
Okay. Are we assuming your species again?
I'm an android, damn it, sent from cyber.
Oh, I thought you were pterodactyl.
I'm secretly a lizard person. I will take over the world.
Me has come back to haunt us.
Oh, by the way, Morgan, at the moment you're just a sweet potato.
I know, isn't it great?
I was wondering what it was, and then I had to have a look. It was like, it's definitely a sweet potato.
if Morgan wished,
You thought it was something else, didn't you?
I did think it was something else.
if Morgan wishes to identify as a sweet potato, then let them.
It's a lovely
We
description.
don't
human
judge
again.
here.
I see no difference.
That's a good thing. They're edible and crispy and lovely and fluffy.
Sweet.
Also, they taste better as chips than normal potato. Just saying.
Also, if you have a sweet,
I don't like
Could be in every single takeaway restaurant. Okay, I will be there with a big bag for life, and saying, "How many do you think I'll need to fill this? Fill it up. I'll eat a lot." Potato fries are fucking amazing. Better than normal fries. I will fight you or do a diss track on you. I don't think I can.
Or do a diss track on them haters, yeah.
Why sweet potato fries rock? Featuring KSI if I can.
Yes. And
Got-
there'd be me backing you up on my channel doing me diss track with Pewds dancing in the background or something, I don't know.
PewDiePie.
It flips between Pew dancing and my brain instantly just got pole dancing, so I now have an image of PewDiePie pole
Yeah,
dancing.
I mean, if PewDiePie wants to sort of like pole dance in a music video with me, I'm not going to tell him otherwise, you know. Whatever tickles his fancy. I'm going to
Can you
get,
try not to choke me, please, Bunny?
you know, if you ask me nicely, I might.
Oh, Bunny's going for a walk.
Yeah, I'll get myself a drink because I'm thirsty.
I've got it all over my glasses.
Have you got a facial?
Shut up!
Anyway, Lee, before we all rudely interrupted you, you were saying about you've known us about 2.5 years, and I was one of the most chilled people you know.
Yeah.
And then it all descended into chaos.
Yeah, we all
That's
just
normal.
descended into madness.
I think that's normal. But yeah,
Right.
apart from your obsessive game buying things, I don't think I've ever known anybody to buy so many games at one con before.
How much was it in the end?
What, for that whole weekend for Portsmouth?
Yeah.
A little
Oh,
over
loads.
500, 550,
yeah.
I think. And that was after 35% discount in total over the 2 days.
This is actually the real reason that we're poly. It's just we've got enough people to play the games. There you
Exactly, yeah.
We have an entire Scrabble game.
Oh God, yeah.
Isn't that the whole point of a polykill? So you've got enough people to have a regular D&D game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
And like, sort of like online playing and shit, you know, that's the only reason we do it.
Yeah. We don't
Also-
really like each other.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's like I hate the fact that you feed my Fallout habit. Yeah, it's just so terrible. How dare you?
I think we've all done that with your birthday coming up this week.
Oh, it's great. It's like I've just got sort of Vault Boy and Power Armor coming out the wazoo. It's great.
I went against the grain purely because I was running out of stuff Fallout related. So I just got you the table. I was just like, have a table.
my little table. I don't know if I can get it in. There you go.
There it is.
That's what I did have my iPad balanced on till it fell over and I gave up.
Basically, I'm now a Dudley ball. I got you a table.
Yeah, get the tables.
Ba-dum-bum-bum. That was my attempt at drums.
Fair enough.
Look at
Yes,
that.
Yes, they're still
Look
there,
what
Morgan.
you made me do. And dry. And now it's...
Now you're all wet, ooh,
Missus.
as the actress said to the bishop and all that.
I was going to say, that's not really that uncommon when we're all together.
What, someone ends up wet?
Yeah.
Yeah. You spilt Diet Coke.
Yeah, that was the funny thing. Accidentally throwing Diet Coke over your ex-wife.
Accidentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say, like, cough, cough, quote unquote, accidentally. Yeah.
And then she fed you chilies in the water. I remember that.
Yes, yeah. That was the bird's eye chili that nobody believed I would eat, so I munched the whole lot, seeds and all.
What is it, a case of, like, see this in my face? Oh.
Pretty
I
much,
can barely
yeah.
handle I can barely handle chilies in food. Let alone on...
Bearing in mind, bird's eyes are quite hot, so
No.
Is
it
it a
was
case
then
of
suddenly
no?
I felt my tongue explode, and it was like, okay, are they so well played?
My tongue is having flashback to when I taste. No.
I've just downloaded an image of you, Joe, going full on Jar Jar Binks, going, my tongue. And there.
My tongue. I can't
was
feel
pretty
my
much
tongue.
Yeah. Yes.
Did I be
There. That's my face.
To be
My
fair,
tongue
Jar Jar
there.
Binks is one up from Ray, so
Yeah, I love Jar Jar Binks, to be fair, because I think he's just stupid.
Jar Jar Binks is better than Ray.
Hashtag
To be
unpopular
fair-
opinion, Lion King ain't no good.
To be fair, anyone's better than Ray, let's be honest.
Leah, do you have any more questions for us?
Before we start going on a hate.
I was going to ask Bunny, how would you describe asexuality to people?
Oh, I think to put it in its very, very basic terms, it would be having sort of like little to no interest in sort of the sex side of things. That's putting it in like a very basic terms, but there's almost like a bit of a sliding scale at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
In that you get the people at one end of the extreme who are very much sex repulsed, and it's like, no, even the thought of it makes you want to puke. And then there's like people like myself that, even though we don't really have an interest, it's like under the right circumstances and or with the right people, we might get the fancy very occasionally, but it's more of a, nah, you're right.
Yeah.
Rather have cooked
Fact.
food.
At least you don't have to go through the rigmarole of shaving to impress, because you're like,
Yeah, I am just so lazy. I'm just like, I can't be bothered to shave because no one's going to see it anyway. So, you know.
although ever since I've settled into my non-binariness, I've actually let my body hair grow. And can I just say, the feel of armpit hair is amazing. I'm not
It's
gonna
great,
lie.
isn't it?
I literally roll over and I'm just like, ooh, there's like a little hamster underneath my arms. It's great.
I just got this image of turning up at the beach, and there's more with a hair in, with their hair in buns under the.
No, I'd have them in like dreadlocks over my shoulder, going, it's on my body shoulder.
Does my hair hang low? Does it waggle to and fro?
Can you tie it in a knot? Can you tie it in a bow?
This is not Disney songs yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man buns in my armpits. That was fucking brilliant. I need to do this now.
We need to make it a trend.
Man bun armpit.
But yeah, that is probably like explaining asexuality in like as basic as I can,
So
sort of for everyone.
Am I assuming right that you're asexual, but you're not aromantic?
I am, as Morgan put it, asexual, but they described me as being like bi-romantic in that, yeah, I can obviously like form the emotional romantic attachments to people, but it's just don't expect any sexy time. You know, pretty much.
But you're not aromatic because you're not a furry.
Exactly. I'm not a brand of rice.
Thank you. I actually stole that from a post by an asexual saying, yes, I'm asexual, but I'm not aromatic. Like, I'm not a curry. And I was sat there going, that is the best quote. I need that. I need to get that to prove that Ravanya
Yeah,
to
so
go
make sure you get your terms right, because you don't want to accuse someone of being a curry.
So I'd just like to say that because you can't do mum jokes or dad jokes with someone that's non-binary, that is a parent joke.
I call them my Ren joke. Parent as in like shortened.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. But to be fair, I've always said that I've got mum jokes that are worse than dad jokes, but then I have a backlog of dad jokes, so I am literally anti-guested from both sides, and I do apologise to him.
Although until recently he's just been stuck in a big eternal rut of go ask your mum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or go ask Grandad, or
Yeah.
it's like I don't.
Or go ask your Uncle Dobby, yeah.
It's like literally, it'll be about like 6 o'clock in the morning. He'll walk in, going morning, grab his laptop, and I'm sat there going, "It's shit."
Or he sort of like, or he fucks off upstairs and wakes his granddad up and says like, "Granddad, can I play on the computer?" You know.
No, he never asks to play on the computer. He just does it.
What, like he sort of like this morning when he got his granddad up at like what time was it? About 7, 8 o'clock. Like, I want to play Oculus Rift. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Although I put on FNAF on the VR, I got 2 minutes in and I went, "This isn't for me at the moment." So I just handed it back over to the child and walked away. I was like, "Yes, I'm a big hard gamer." No, I'm not.
What, like same as me? Like I refuse to play Fallout 4 on VR because it's like, no, because Death Claws and feral ghouls ganging up on me scared the shit out of me the best times.
Death Claws are cute. They are they're
Underappreciated.
They are misunderstood and underappreciated, and I will not have anyone talk bad about my baby.
What, feral ghouls or death claws?
Death Claws are lovely. I love them. I want one.
Yeah, remember we're talking to the mother of Death Claws here, according to her dream.
I had a dream where I could understand and talk to Death Claws, and I controlled them very much like Daenerys tries to control her dragon.
Yeah, trying to.
Tries to. I don't burn that you burnt the child. I'm gonna have to lock away your siblings now. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen Game of Thrones.
I don't think anybody's not seen Game of Thrones that far now.
And if they have, it's tough.
Yeah.
You were going to say it's
Plenty of
fucking
time
late,
gone
weren't you?
between. Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about season 8.
There wasn't one.
Yeah, 7 seasons, that's all we got.
Game of Thrones ended at season. Game of Thrones ended at season.
7.
5. That's season 5. No. 6, 7, 8. Go. Die on fire. No. No. What did they do? They ruined my babies. It's fine.
Oh,
Right, so
They killed my boy. Sorry. Okay. I'll go.
breathe.
Anyway,
It's
back to
fine.
the
We're
question.
derailing
Yeah.
again.
So,
Back
right, so
to the LGBT stuff.
Right, so obviously Bunny's now said about being asexual but not aromantic. Morgan, you are pansexual if I remember right?
I prefer the phrase omnisexual because it is an actual phrase, and also who doesn't want to have the same sexuality as Captain Jack Harkness?
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I don't think I can be bi because I am non-binary, and also I can be attracted to so many. So I have been attracted to so many people, and it's. I mean, bi was the label I grew up with because you're either gay, straight, or bi as a sexuality. So I never really looked at outside of that. But yeah, I think if I was to give myself a better, more understanding label, it would be omnisexual because there's so many beautiful creatures out there. Why limit? I mean, that's why I'm poly, for fuck's sake.
So in that case, Tim, how would you define your sexuality?
I mean, I use bisexual as a as a label, partly just because it's what I've grown up with, but very much in that sense of my own gender and then anyone else. So it's that open term of it's the person. If there's someone I click with, then you just go from there, and it's just being that sort of in that sort of open, accepting, loving place of like you. If they like me, that's added bonus.
Yeah, I think it's like I'm a bit like that. I think it's just more of a it's a whole I like this human. I want to keep them around for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Have I got a shelf?
No, we haven't seen your best before date.
I did make my counsellor burst out laughing when I was having a conversation around this, and I basically condensed it down to basically, if I get to the point of investigating someone's underwear, I'm happy with whatever configuration, whoever. Yeah, if we're at that stage, then there's a close connection already, and game on, But just to make light of it.
What?
But yeah, but I use bisexual. It's just a term that most people have encountered, or at least have some sort of idea of. If they then want to start asking me in-depth questions, I'll have that conversation. And a lot of how I go about talking to people is I'll present mostly labels that they can understand, because for most people that's all they want. They just want a label. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
If they then want to have a longer conversation, then I will quite happily talk their iron legs off whatever donkeys are brought to shore.
Well, you
I think that's about it.
That's obviously the whole Welsh thing with livestock.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
you have legislature now and then.
All that literally popped into my head was when you've had one sheep. And I'm sat there,
What?
I'm allowed to make Welsh jokes because I'm part Welsh. Okay.
It's the Welsh. One sheep does plenty.
Exactly.
And Joe, how would you describe yourself?
Don't really like labels, so I tend not to
I
label myself
I
per
know
se.
I know you don't like labels.
But I mean, when people ask me at work, I initially say I'm poly. I don't define myself as bisexual or straight or gay. I'm poly. And then when people have asked what that meant, then it goes into the wider discussion. And as a result of that, I've actually been active at work trying to get them to change policies, because it's very much not a bad thing, but they acknowledge that you can have you can be married to either male, female, TV, TG, whatever, it doesn't really matter, but the standard setup is still one person, one partner.
Yeah.
And that bugs the hell out of me, because it means I can't pass on any of my benefits to Morgan or to Kelly or to Small, because it's not acknowledged that I have more than one partner or one relationship.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's more I'm poly and this is what that entails, rather than I'm bi and poly. But people who know me at work go, don't class me as bi. They say I'm poly and omni or poly and pan. And I'm just like, if that's the way you see me, that's the way you see me.
Yeah.
I just see myself as poly, and that's it.
Yeah.
There is fully sexual. I think if I'm wrong.
I'll have to.
I've heard the term.
Like I always say that I'm wibbly wobbly, sexy wexy, because it's the only way I. Because when people go, "What is your sexuality?" I just go,
It's a thing. Yeah. You're the emoji, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm an honest believer in your sexuality evolves over your lifetime as well, and it's never static.
Well, when I was at
spectrum.
school, I went to an all-girls school, so the only people I saw outside of my family were girls. And obviously, during puberty, I was, because I was surrounded by girls. So when I saw myself attracted to them, I thought I was a lesbian. But then I saw guys away from my family, and I was like, they're pretty hot too. And then I was just like, so what does that make me? And then bi sort of like popped up as a label. And then I was just like, okay, maybe I'm this. And then obviously, because I've fluctuated in gender, and I now, you know, have given myself the solid label of non-binary. And I'm sat there going, so what does this mean for me? And then I'm just like, sod it, omnisexual. There you go, I'm attracted to everyone. Deal with it.
You're sort of like, your sexuality is Captain Jack Harkness. That's all we need to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everybody's sexuality is Captain Jack.
Yeah.
It's like, even as an asexual, I probably would be like, I wouldn't kick John Barrowman out of bed, to be fair. You know? I
yeah.
know idea.
My hair is an absolute mess.
I do.
So,
Yeah, I just think it's important to be honest, talk about it. When you break down the boundaries, people either run for the hills because it's so far out their comfort zone, or are intrigued enough to ask more questions. And 9 times out of 10, I found I've had the sensible questions asked. Once everyone's got past the, isn't it just a threesome? How do you feel? Do you not get jealous? How does everyone fit into bed? Isn't it just sex?
Definitely.
No.
We don't fit in the bed. That is the problem. That's
We need a bigger bed.
We need a bigger bed.
what is it?
If anyone else,
If you've got too many people to fit in if you've got too many people to fit in a king size, you need a queen size, isn't it?
Yeah.
to all of you people out there, if you get asked the question, what's the biggest problem in poly, just say you need a bigger bed. No one asks any more questions.
Yeah.
True.
just need like a beanbag room. Or a
Yeah.
mattress room.
that
It's
was-
just
Mattress room. Yeah.
There is a mattress room. It's called a padded room.
it's
I don't
yeah,
want
Yeah, it's like, I hear St James's up the road, have plenty of them. Yeah.
not anymore. It's gone.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the one is by you and Joe. It's the what you. Sorry, the mental homes. I can't remember what.
The mental home.
We've
That's
got
our
a
house,
ward.
isn't it, Morgan?
Well, the old one was Bedlam, wasn't it? It was in North London, West London.
We've got units at St Peter's and West Mid Hospital.
Okay.
See, I'm intrigued now what the
Yeah,
nearest
they're
ones to
pretty
Pompey are, Neil.
I think,
Come on,
I think,
Google.
I think the nearest one is Fareham. So
Right.
I'm going to embarrass Isabel now. That's in the chat. Isabel is the one that I've been talking to for the last couple of days.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
She is lovely. We get along really well.
Oh,
Hi,
brilliant.
Isabel.
And she
Hey, up,
is
love.
she is in the chat at the
You
moment.
little bashful.
She's saying you either crowdfund bigger beds or buy a bed store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that means we need to do something about the books and the games.
Yeah. See, you've got a spare room like
Yeah.
I've got a spare room, but it quickly gets filled up with other stuff.
Well,
Yes.
the spare room at the moment is my work room and the craft room. We've done a lot of work in tidying it up in here, but we still do have a mountain of books and games. And yeah, if I just take this off, you can probably see that's the games. And then currently that's my crafting pile, which you can't see because it's too dark.
It's
There's
on
no
dark,
light.
yeah.
But other than that, it'd be perfect. Yeah.
Because that's really helpful, Joe.
Plus, there's a sewing machine in there.
Yeah, there is a sewing machine in there.
We are looking to get a bigger bed, but part of that at first is clearing enough space in the bedroom to sort of get rid of some of the side tables, or have smaller side tables, or yeah. So, but
Get
plans
inventive with space.
yeah.
Just do it.
But
Everybody.
There is a
the bed and mattress is old enough. We need to start thinking about replacing it anyway. So yeah,
Maybe do what everybody else does.
Funnily,
and use,
actually, that room.
and use packing crates and stuff to make a bed out of.
Funnily enough, I
probably-
need to get a new bed at some point because mine's knackered.
Uh,
And added bonus with my job, I can get Premier Inn mattresses for dirt cheap. So
Nice.
Oh, we might
remind
tap
me-
you up for that
I was
one.
gonna
You
say,
might have to have a
remind me of that.
conversation.
Yeah, anyone wants the Premier in proper mattresses, just hit me up. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah,
I'll be your sort
definitely
of
have to
mattress
remember
dealer.
that.
We'll have a chat later.
You sound like a drug dealer. If you
A
need
really
any
shit
good
drug dealer.
give me them. I'll get it for you. I don't know why I went
So
to them.
it's a
All
whole.
right.
I can get you a good deal on Premier in mattresses.
I just got,
No, that's not a euphemism.
I just got this image of you walking around with a coat full of mattresses.
Oh, what
All
big
happy
mattress,
with-
like big mattress. I'm like, oh,
It's-
waddling on the
Hey, I've
top.
got a mattress down here. Do you want to know what it looks like?
Yeah, it's like, follow me, stranger. I've got something you might like. Yeah.
Did I tell you about the time?
Yeah.
Well,
Did I tell you about the time I got approached in Albert Road in Southsea by a guy asking if I wanted to buy some cheese?
No, you didn't actually.
Where's the punchline?
He opened up his coat and it was just lined with blocks of cheese.
That could only happen
that's
in Portsmouth,
awesome.
actually.
I was just
Time's got. Carry on.
it was just at the time I was so high I was like, what the shit is this going on now? And it was just
Well, you know, times got hard after Resident Evil 4. The merchant had to find trade in other ways, you know.
Basically, if the bomb would have gone off near him, there'd be debris everywhere.
Oh,
oh my god.
I'd be a bit of a fondue.
Could you not? Fuck's sake.
I'm funny, guys.
It's a whole I refuse to laugh.
All that
I'm
went in my head
actually
was I need to
joking.
make a brie joke somewhere.
Ah,
So have you got any more questions for us then? It feels as if we're on a panel.
it is a bit like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, if anybody who's watching has got any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat and we'll answer them as well. So, you know, this isn't just a Leah standing up
Eventually.
and poking
Yeah,
us with questions.
I've got a fan here, look.
Oh,
It's not doing a very good job at the moment.
So my favourite hairbrush has died.
How does a hairbrush die?
that's a Joe job.
It was on my bed. I went to. I didn't realise it was there because it was underneath a pillow. So it dead.
I told you, stop trying to stick things up your bum.
Remember, Morgan doesn't do butt stuff.
Alright, stop. You're trying to stick it up. You're trying to stick it up your schmoo then, I don't know.
Isabel asked when your date.
We've decided. We said as soon as lockdown's over, we're gonna sort something out. So
Yeah.
As soon as lockdown's over, we're going to Boswell's, mate.
yeah, there is Boswell's breakfast as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Boswell.
We haven't had that in 3 months.
I know.
3 months.
I miss
I
our
remember the last time I had it.
I miss mornings of eyeing people up and bitching about them.
I'm still pissy that Insomnia got cancelled.
But
Well,
at
I'm
least the
still not
Rammstein gig
over-
was rescheduled.
yeah, I saw that earlier.
Yeah,
brilliant.
I saw that.
It was
Well,
basically same weekend next year.
yeah, I
I'm
think
just
a lot.
pissy
I
that I
think a
didn't
lot
get
of
to meet
things have said.
Pyrocynical.
I think a lot of things have said that they're not going to be. Nothing's going to be happening this year now, haven't they?
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Because the government's pretty much said that no big gatherings of any sort until at least the end of the year.
Yeah, I can see Showmasters and probably Portsmouth Comic Con just being like, no, we're cancelling everything
Yeah,
now.
because they said
Because they're-
August.
I'm not going to go put a light on because I'm increasingly looking like some Victorian sort of villain, sort of crouching in the darkness. So back in a second.
You're looking like a lady in black.
Oh, I love that film.
Cthulhu. Cthulhu being kicked in the nuts.
Boop. Join the club because even the little light's not doing much good now.
I'm not enjoying the fact that my camera's delayed quite a lot.
That's better.
That's fine. We can still hear you in time. It's like fine.
Yeah.
It's just
The light will come back eventually. It just takes a while.
what about if you clap?
It's the same with mine. It takes a few minutes to warm up.
Yeah.
So, someone in Japan actually managed to wire their light so it would answer to the clap bit from the Friends theme song.
Hey.
Oh God.
Could you imagine how it'd be like, and it would turn, and I'm sat there going, but you have to do that every time you wanted to turn it on and off.
That'd be too much of a pain in the arse. Yeah.
Be really bad if you're having really, really vigorous sex. Be like you're in a rave.
The clapping of the W6 cheeks.
And now all I've got is the white card going, vigorous jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
Oh, we should play some cards after this.
Works for me.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea actually. What was?
Why not?
I'll have to
What are
see
we
where I'm
talking
at.
about? I don't remember.
I can't.
What about...
You're talking about going on a date.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we are discussing at the moment when we're going to go after lockdown. We've said because Isabel lives in Worthing, so
Okay.
just past.
Oh,
just,
just up the way a bit.
yeah, so it's not far. So we said about
Oh.
going for a date in Chichester or something like that because it's sort of almost between the two. So yeah. I will be honest, I've said this to Isabel as well, that I am shitting myself at the moment. Everything, even now when I'm talking about it, my stomach's actually cramping up because I'm so nervous about something new. So it's
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll make you laugh, Leah, then. I ran away to Switzerland so I didn't have to marry Tim. It didn't work too well.
well,
Got a bit
yeah.
caveman. Went and turned it back.
This is a bit. This is a running theme with maidens and finding their wives.
Yeah. We run away and they come to us. I think the only person who didn't do that was your mum, wasn't it?
Pardon?
She did-
Yeah, mum.
yeah, your mum.
Your dad and your mum.
You're talking about my mum and dad, of course. Yes, they grew up.
Sickening, but
My mum and dad. Yeah, they grew up as childhood sweethearts on Barry Island. They got together. I think he was 16, she was 14 when they first started sort of being friendly. So school times, and then just basically they've been together ever since.
Bless.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's,
I love how at the anniversary I was like, I'm not gonna cry. Your dad opens up his mouth and goes, "My love," and I'm like,
I was sat at the table, both their hands in mine, and all three of us being soppy gits, going, "Nope, we're not going to cry. No, we're
"Yeah,
not.
you
No,
two
we're
were
not."
going. I'm not gonna cry. I was out there openly blubbing.
Okay, yeah, you were. Yeah.
there is that little switch that you can touch, and I just cry. And he managed to punch it. I was like, please stop making me cry.
Yeah, because you toast don't cry at everything, do you, Morgan?
Oh, I do. I do.
I think that's definitely the one thing that me and Morgan have got in common. We cry at pretty much
Oh, yeah.
everything. Is
And
yeah.
there's me at the other end of the scale.
We were once talking about something, and we started getting teary and crying at the exact same time because we were both emotional about the same thing. I was like, we're a picture right now.
And then there's me at the other end. I very rarely cry, if at all. I'm like, no.
That's because you're really a robot.
Yeah.
You're really a synth.
See, yeah, Bethesda are trying to make out like simps are only fictional, but we're here really just shh. It's like, I'll probably be the one that goes on to become Nick Sodding's Valentine.
Yeah, and I'm the sort of person.
Well, you got the raincoat.
Exactly.
We need to do a companions cosplay group. You could be Nick. Oh, I want to be Hancock. I want to be Hancock.
Yes, I was waiting for you to say you wanted to be Hancock.
I could be
So-
Piper and piss you off.
We
So
don't
people
talk
watching-
about Piper.
People watching may have noticed that there is a somewhat strong geek theme,
Yes.
which seems to be pretty much standard operating procedure for pretty much everyone who's poly.
I think isn't it like the
tattoo, for Christ's sake? I mean,
Yeah.
have Hannibal
isn't it like the
Lecter
law
on
or something? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it. I think partly it comes from science fiction and fantasy being about possibilities and acceptance, and I think there's a chord that resonates really, really strongly, and I think it's usually a good benchmark that if someone loves their sci-fi, loves their fantasy, that by and large they're going to be interesting people to talk to, if nothing else, and generally will tend to actually engage.
It's like
They also
because
seem to be
there's less
generally more
preset.
accepting as well.
Yeah,
Because-
I do always say that things like a shared experience are very much sort of one of those things that do bring people together quite easily, which is why I don't tend to date cis men. So it's just
Okay, so Leah,
Hello.
you asked how you identify.
Yeah.
So how would you identify like sexual generic label on it? I think I know the answer.
I would say pansexual, but I'm femme attracted, if that makes sense.
Okay,
So
that's not the answer I thought. But
Did you think I was going to say bisexual?
no, I thought you were going to say lesbian. To be fair.
No, I say pansexual mainly because it doesn't exclude trans people.
Oh, okay.
And I just sort of I go with that because I say I'm femme attracted, so if someone's got a feminine outward appearance, then I'm more likely to be attracted to them. But then, someone like Autumn Ivy or Gwendolyn, what's her name?
Christy.
Yeah, I'd be like, please, mummy, punish me.
Gwendolyn Christie is is not. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I consider myself quite cool for someone born into a woman body. But my God, Gwendolyn Christie made me feel like I was 2 foot tall. I was just like,
How do you think I felt? I legit actually felt like a dwarf that stood next to her.
literally, it's like you feel.
But Bunny, you're like 2 foot tall.
Exactly. I always say I'm 5 foot and a fag butt on a good day.
As someone that comes from
That place.
as someone that comes from a family of hobbits. Well, I say family of hobbits. My sister and my mum are both pretty much 5 foot tall. So it's
That basically sounds like my mum's
size.
side of the family. Like everyone's tiny on her side, so that's probably why I was short ass.
I'm pretty sure your mum classifies as a halfling.
Probably, I think I think according to like medical records, I think she's officially like 4'11" or something like that, or 4'10".
Yeah.
Like,
Don't forget that
officially.
little half bit though, because
Yeah.
I will never forget the outrage on my ex-wife's face when we were going in for the birth of my daughter, and because of her age and her height, she was officially listed as a geriatric dwarf.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She was not impressed.
Wow. Wow.
That is-
I'm surprised. Oh, I'm surprised they still lived.
Well, at that point, she was sort of she was too high on the gas and air to be able to sort of coordinate any kind of response. But yeah, no, she it was written on the report.
Oh, hello, Moth.
Wow.
And now I've just got visions of your geriatric babies, Leah, before we went live.
They will come up in a minute.
I wouldn't be again with that.
What, the sort of like geriatric jelly babies? Yeah.
The geriatrics.
That's the one,
Where did
geriatrics.
you get those?
I got them from Amazon, but they used to do them in Tesco's.
That's amazing.
They're really nice as well.
Cool.
Do they taste of old people?
So, yeah, no.
There's a joke in there about
Yeah,
tasting
no.
juicy, but I'm not going there.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, they're not that badly priced. Ooh, okay, well.
They did take about 2 weeks to turn up.
Oh,
Because they're not essential.
Yeah.
they should be.
How dare they?
Most of
Who
the
said
stuff,
jelly babies aren't essential?
most of the stuff that I've had delivered isn't essential. But there you go.
Which reminds me, I need to chase up my French curve.
So I just want to say to everybody that, as you can see, this is your setup of polyamory, isn't it? Basically, this
Exactly,
is,
yeah.
and how we've been talking as well tonight is basically how you talk all the time, and you
All
Yeah.
the time.
and you can you can feel the love between you all, which is what I like.
It's
We
thanks, mate.
literally spent the entire time roasting each other. And they're like,
Exactly.
so in love.
Yeah, but that's the point.
Feel the love
Oh,
tonight.
here we go. Here we go. So what was it about?
I'm not singing.
So
no.
what was it about Disney princesses?
They are the best.
Around. Nothing will ever bring you down.
You're the
So-
best.
But then you do also have that. You do also have that thing that every polyam combination is entirely different.
Yeah.
It's the unique connections between the people in those relationships, and that's just some of the wonderful things. You'll be, you can be observing a group of people, and you can have a whale of a time people watching, just trying to work out who's who to who.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen very often because we especially in lockdown, you don't go out to many venues where you know. But for example, at MCM, we bumped into a family who were poly, and they knew we were because I'd mentioned going to MCM on a Facebook group, and I had a little polyam pin just on my costume. And that was lovely. Sort of sat, chatted for literally just 5 minutes on the stairs as we were sort of heading up because we were going to go drop stuff off to the hotel. And the extent of the conversation was, "Where's good to eat?" We went Chinese over there. It was but that was the really important thing of the conversation was what you're going to eat. But then there was time when we all were together there with Small in attendance. And there's one evening where we all going back to the hotel just to sort of chill and drop things off, and I just go, "Oh, thank God, no people." Yuck. And then we sorted out an Uber to send Morgan and Miss Time and Anthony back to their hotel, and I went down with them, saw them into the cab, off they went, and there was someone who was at the door. And who was sort of cooing gently and got talking, and they too were there as polyam people,
Yeah.
and they'd actually just seen off one of their partners and was going to go up and have pizza with another partner, and so it was just one of those little moments of, "Oh, that's lovely, and how do you do this, that, and the other." It was just that sort of quick sort of those quick conversations and moments of connection of, "Oh, that's really lovely," or that's nice, or "Have you done?" Or "Have you seen this?" or "Have you done that?" And it's that sort of, again, back to that thing of shared experience of, yes, we live in this way and this is how we process conversations. And then it was a lovely, right, well, I'm going off I'm going to go back out to my room. I've got pizza on the order, and I went, right, well, I'm going to pop into Tesco, grab some bags of stuff, and then we're going to go see what we can find. So, yeah, but it's very much that thing of, I love our dynamics. I also love watching and encountering other people and seeing just that sheer, the body language and the back and forth, those little conversational ticks. And sometimes just going, I recognise that. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, this insanity is pretty much how we are.
It's funny because someone I feel like your little mascot that tends to be there quite a lot when you guys are all together, and as someone that sees your relationship from hello Morgan from the outside. It's just so nice to watch. Oh, and Bunny. Oh my god!
I don't know what happened there. Mine just dropped out.
Yeah, it's just nice to see.
This is eating the router. Yeah.
It's just nice to see your dynamic from the person that's on the outside.
And
you're not on the outside. You're
Extended polycule.
Yeah, it's like I said.
Yeah, you've been adopted.
I
to tell you.
It's like I said. I'm a bit like your. I feel like a bit like your mascot that's always there, and but it's just so nice, and
I mean, we have to start calling you Fluffy.
Unicorn.
So Fluffy.
But
I will say one thing about being with Morgan is just like the whole sort of like it's opened up the whole sort of side of the furry fandom, because obviously Morgan obviously likes and is into that side of thing, and it's more of a, even though I'm not into it, it's like I think I can appreciate, like, as a cosplayer, the amount of time and work that goes into the outfits. And I'm that person that
they have a fursuit.
And I'm that person at Comic Cons who will be running around going, "Furry!" Want to give them hugs. Yeah.
I was going to say, maybe we should all hook together and make Morgan a fursuit.
Yes.
I felt very well.
No dying, please. Thank you. I identify as a fox.
You identify as a fox.
So what does the fox say?
Ow!
Get out of the way, mush.
Yeah. Or you twat.
I do actually know a couple of people that make fursuits, so I might have to sort of talk to them and get some pointers.
Yeah.
So yes, I have, like, thanks to the Polycule, found a newfound appreciation for furries. I think they're wicked.
Also, I want to learn how to make fursuits and stuff, so I can make myself like tails and stuff for various different ideas I've got, because I want to do Squirrel Girl.
Well, that's what that's what I'm looking at the moment, is how to do the tail. So,
or I could just be a squirrel. Squirrel girl.
Yeah,
have a bunch of people just dress up as squirrels and running around the venue, just like, whoa.
To be fair, it wouldn't be any less chaotic than a normal con.
No,
exactly.
True. It's like me with my clicker outfit. I literally was blind in that mask, so Kelly had a collar indeed and was leading me around all the time.
But the amount of people who saw us who were like, "Oh my god, that's brilliant, Ellie with a pet clicker,"
I am a domesticated clicker. I haven't bitten anyone in
minutes.
Yeah.
Yes. See, we thought of the idea long before Walking Dead with Michonne and her two zombies. Yeah.
I have just realised something. What I could do? I need to do a Death Claw outfit.
Oh my god. Yes, with my Soul Survivor, that would look awesome.
I can just see Tim going, no.
We need to make this a thing.
I'm thinking the size of some of the animatronic Velociraptor costumes.
Oh my god!
That I see at cons.
And that would be pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can talk Morgan's dad into helping with, like, some of it.
I was going to say, Morgan, get off Etsy.
I'm not. I'm looking at photos of Death Claws, you cheeky bitch.
Actually, that's reminded me. I've got
Actually,
some
that
sort of
ma-
like Fallout cosplays I've got to work on.
That makes a change because Morgan's normally looking at porn on Twitter.
I'm now.
Which is usually Hannibal related.
I don't always look at porn on Twitter. It just happens to be there.
When we're
I
in
don't like hunting.
Weatherspoons.
You mean the
We don't-
algorithms are lying about what you look for?
Yes, it's all lies and slander.
Okay, I'm going to see what's on my Twitter. Oh, by the way, can we all like take a couple seconds to say R.I.P. to Shaq Gasper, who was a hero? Who,
I didn't catch any of that, my darling.
You broke
Okay.
up then.
fuck's sake. Am I okay now?
No.
Fuck's sake. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Just about,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so a wrestler died after getting someone to rescue his son.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that was the
Okay, yeah.
chap you mentioned earlier, yeah.
He got pulled out to sea in a riptide and his body was found. So yeah. Sorry to bring the mood down, but I just wanted to just say R.I.P. and all that rubbins.
Yeah.
And
So I think on
It's
that,
up.
I think on the fact that Morgan's audio is going a little bit, I think we'll wrap up on that note, since we've been going for an hour and 15 minutes. I was worried we weren't going to make 30 minutes at one point, and now we're an hour and 15.
And then you reckoned without our ability to talk absolute waffle for
But
hours on
we
end.
This is
answered
the
some
sort-
questions.
But this is the sort of thing I wanted, because it was more natural than anything that was, that, because you sort of, in a roundabout way, you kept answering questions in a natural way rather than having them thrown at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than having a clipboard.
So
Yeah, I think that highlights our natural dynamic anyway, because
Yeah.
we do that. And I know with me, I have to be so conscious, because one of the things that's very common in the Northeast is to talk over people. And it's not a rude thing, it's just people trying to join in the conversation and talk over, and I have to consciously stop myself from doing
Yeah.
that, because obviously down south it's like, no, you interrupt someone, you're being rude, and that's not an intentional thing,
as someone that dated
it's
the
just a
northerner,
sign of the passion.
as someone that dated the northerner for 7 years, yes, it's quite a normal thing.
Yeah
So,
And I think, but at the same time, I know for a fact that, my total polycule have a lot to put up with me, especially Morgan, because usually by the time I finish work, I'm like, that's it, spoons are out, don't want to talk to anybody, don't want to do anything. And so I think that's been one of the biggest challenges, especially for Morgan, is that sometimes I'm just not in that talkative
yeah,
mood, and it's not because I don't want to connect, I just don't have the reserves to
Yeah.
do it.
Well, as I as and when this is over, we're going off for a week.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Definitely.
it's
Yeah.
So, do you want to do plugs for your various websites quickly before we go? We'll start with Tim.
Go on,
I've
Tim.
got my general random thoughts on life, universe, and everything on timmaiden.com. There's write-ups on D&D, stuff about cosplay, things like that. And there's an Instagram at Lud72, spelled with 2 Ds, which has Funko Pops and cosplay and weird things that I've seen as I go along. Yeah, that'll do.
Joe, I'm not sure what I know you've got your cosplay page.
Yeah, so I've got my cosplay page, which is my Mother Mafia cosplay, and then there's a group in there which is all the design work. So actually, we'll show you the initial design sculpture, me making it, how I've made it, and all that kind of stuff. I've then also, off the back of that, I have my twit.com, which is about today's women and tomorrow's technology.
Okay.
And it's all about diversity and inclusion and being a network of support for the women who are in tech industry, but also actually letting kids know who perhaps don't have the resources, that actually tech isn't an option, and being in tech isn't just about being able to code in SQL or Pascal or Cobalt. It's actually as much about being able to build a network and deal with queries on a service desk, or do what I do, which is to decipher contracts and put them into layman's terms. And it's so much more than what people think, and it isn't even just working in a typical tech company. It's gaming industries now, it's hospitals, it's education, it's you name it. Tech is literally everywhere. You know, credit card companies, finance industries, you name it, tech is there.
Yeah.
And you know, you've got all the changes coming through. You've got all the AI. Sorry, you've started me now on this.
That's fine.
It's all the artificial intelligence stuff. It's all the stuff coming through with crypto coin, Bitcoin, quantum computing, quantum physics, quantum robotics, which is just so amazing and exciting and thrilling. But we haven't even started to scratch the surface on stuff like that. And so it's about advocating that and being that voice of someone who came from literally a little town in the northeast, from a mining colliery, to where I am now, and saying it doesn't matter where you've come from or what you've done, you can get there because we will be there to support you.
That's good. Yeah.
So, and that's my twit stuff. So that's at twit.com.
I'm not going to lie, when you were going out with all the sort of codes with the quantum mechanics and AI, now I was tempted to add on like MFI, B&Q.
So, right,
just because I'm an utter knob and I have that sort of sense of humour.
so I will.
Just for simplicity, artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
So I will put the links in the chat in a minute to different people's pages and stuff so that people can find them. And
Okay.
Bunny, you've got YouTube, haven't you?
Yes, I have YouTube, and I totally wasn't prepared. I've got it up on.
Do you want to put? Do you want to put it?
No, try it.
Do you want to put it in the chat?
Oh, there's no.
There we go.
Do you want to
Just
put
so
it in the
people can have a
chat?
quick idea. I'll try.
Yeah.
Try and do this. But yeah, I
And
have a
Morgan, what have you got apart from
channel.
Bob's?
Yeah. Well, I was going to add, I also have an Instagram added onto that as
Yeah.
well. So
If you want to add all that in the chat in a minute, that's absolutely
Yeah.
fine.
I have a Twitter. I've got a YouTube channel which I will eventually upload content to at some point. It depends on when my anxiety lets me do shit.
Yeah. I think you've done really well today with all of this. So
Let me put my.
thank you, Bunny.
I think the other thing we all forgot
That's
to
all right.
mention is that we actually do have a Polycule Instagram page called Lonely Goats.
Okay.
So that's where we tend to do the stuff where we've done it as a group or a Polycule cosplay.
I don't think
Or just
I don't
random
think I
thing for
followed
working.
that, so I'll have to follow that one as well.
How a joke from a TV show is now
Yes.
that.
All I have to say is, goat.
It was lonely.
So and
Yes.
I have my
Black sales reference.
so I have my two cosplay pages, which are Imperium Cosplay and Roleplay, both on Twitter and on Facebook, and on Instagram now as well. For some reason, because everybody was going, you need to put all your stuff on Instagram. So I've now got an Instagram as well, which is Imperium Cosplay and Roleplay as well. So thank you everybody for joining us today. I don't know how many we had. So
I wasn't paying attention, to be fair.
no, I
I've
wasn't.
literally
I
just
just want
started Facebook now. So.
but I want,
Glancing to make sure we didn't have any questions we didn't
no,
answer.
I was keeping track of the track of the chat. So, but I'm going to. I'm hoping we can do something like this again in the future. That we can sort of
Yeah.
even if it's sort of ask your geek questions and we'll see what we can answer. So
Yes, I'd be up for like a geeky one, definitely.
that's yeah.
We could even do a live like pop quiz thing.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah, we
or do live or something.
Yeah, we could do a live cards one, and people can see how amazingly inappropriate we can be. So,
Yes.
but on that note, I think we will say goodbye to everybody. Thank you, Tim, for putting the links in.
That's all right.
Right, I'm just going to put me Instagrams in quick as well. So I'm trying to
Okey-dokey.
type left-handed and it's not easy.
Is that? I can never do it. I always feel like I'm doing
I'm gonna
an
do a dab.
inverted. I always feel like I'm doing an inverted crab.
I have to kind of look through to make sure it's right.
Yeah, I'm
So I would do one, but I'm sort of like balancing my iPad on my knee with the charger in so the battery don't die.
That's fine, my lovely.
But thank you all for that today. Oh,
You're more
are
than
we-
welcome. Thank you
are
for
we-
asking us.
Are we boring you, Morgan?
No, I'm just trying to keep myself like focused.
Upright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you everybody for joining us, and we will hopefully see you again soon for another episode of The Quiz Space.
Yes.
Yay! See you
Bye.
soon. Bye.
Remember, dab on them haters.